Let me ask you a very important question. How safe do you think your drinking water is? Because I'm here to tell you that if you're drinking tap water, you are literally playing Russian roulette with your health. If you're replacing tap water with bottled water or other drinking water solutions, you may be doing a little bit of good, but you're still living in extreme danger. And in this video, I'm going to prove to you why. I will back up everything that I tell you with scientific facts, and I'm not here to make it sound like a conspiracy theory or some crazy unsubstantiated claims. Your home water situation may be dire and flat out dangerous, and in the next 4 to 5 minutes, I'm going to explain why. But I'm also going to provide you with a rare and legitimate solution that I think you're going to love. You see, families across the United States already spend billions of dollars on drinking water alternatives, like bottled water, drinking water filters like the Brita-type pitchers, or even expensive reverse osmosis-type filters. Whole house water filtration systems are definitely a step in the right direction, but unless you're buying a top-tier filtration system, those can be largely inadequate as well. And of course, the most effective top-of-the-line systems cost around $5,000 or more. And how many families can realistically even afford that? But if you stick with me here for literally about 4 minutes, I'm going to show you something that will have you completely rethinking the way that you use water in your home today. I mean, really exciting stuff here, and you're going to be blown away with what I have to tell you. Now understand that over 70% of the Earth's surface is made up of water. But of all the masses of water on this small planet of ours, 97% is salt water and undrinkable. 2% of that water is frozen and inaccessible, and only 1%, just one small precious percent of all the water on Earth is what we use for drinking. It is by far the most precious resource on the planet. You would think that something that precious would be guarded and cared for as the rare commodity that it is, but unfortunately, as I'm here to prove to you today, that is not the case at all. Now, for me, it all started back in the year 2000. I was coaching a state championship competitive youth soccer team, and we decided that we were going to bring our team to Europe to play in these 2 international tournaments. And while there, we were taking a bus ride from Paris to Amsterdam, and we stopped for lunch at this restaurant just across the border into Belgium. And they served these really nice glass bottles of water. And when I took a taste of that water, it was like, time just sort of froze and my life changed at that moment. It was simply the cleanest, most pure tasting water that I have ever had in my life. Now, of course, I didn't even think to find out what brand of water it was, and I literally spent the next 5 years trying every brand of bottled water I could find. I mean, I ordered water from specialty stores, health stores, internationally, and regrettably, I could not find anything that was as clean and pure as the water that I had in that small Belgium restaurant. But fortunately, the story doesn't end there, because in 2005, I started doing some marketing work for a company based in Phoenix, Arizona, who was selling this really unique home water treatment system. And it was a top-of-the-line coconut shell granulated activated carbon whole home filter. And these high-end granulated activated carbon, or what are referred to as GAC filters, they totally improved the taste of water. I mean, dramatically. And miraculously, what I discovered was that clean, perfect taste that I only remember from the restaurant in Belgium. I was so excited to be able to find this. But as I learned more about the municipal water systems over the years and the potential dangers of what is in the water, I started realizing that the system that I was promoting at the time did have one major flaw, and that is that it wasn't filtering out things like heavy metals. Carbon filters are amazing. They're great filters, but generally they don't remove things like lead or mercury from the water. Now here's the thing. Anyone who pays attention to the news knows that back in 2014 in Flint, Michigan, over 100,000 people were exposed to lead leaching from the pipes and into their drinking water. Simply put, lead is deadly to humans. The sad part is, city officials knew about this problem, but they chose not to tell the people about it and tried to hide it. And now you have people going to jail, and at least 14 people died. And a new shadow of doubt is now hanging over the country's municipal water systems. Well, about a week ago, on November 11th of this year, 2018, CNN came out with a new bombshell news story following a 1-year investigation that they did about the water in the town of Denmark, South Carolina, where they had a problem with iron bacteria in their water. This is nasty stuff, and it makes the water this reddish brown color. You do not want this stuff in your drinking system. So city officials had water professionals that recommended a substance called halo sand to treat the water. But the investigation shows that halo sand is not even approved by the EPA, and that city officials did not know how to properly regulate this deadly contaminant, and that they were using too much of it in the water. The mayor was like, hey, we rely totally on the Department of Health and Environmental Control in these matters. You see, no one is taking responsibility. Just like we saw in Flint, Michigan. Yet lawsuits are being filed because tons of people are sick and kids are having their gallbladders removed because they're finding thousands of gallstones. Imagine that. One 15-year-old girl had so many bladder infections, they had to remove her bladder altogether. But it didn't stop there. They went on to test the water in 34 other locations, and what they found were results of lead levels that were exceeding the legal limits. But the EPA responded by saying, hey, those findings were not enough over the limit to sound any alarm bells. However, medical experts say there is no safe level of lead in the human body. Any amount is toxic to humans and is damaging to the body's nervous system. The effect of lead in drinking water can lead to depression, anxiety, learning disabilities, and even to death, as we saw in Flint, Michigan. Now, this article goes on to say that there are thousands of U.S. cities at risk. In a separate article in the Washington Post, they reported that more than 5,300 U.S. water systems are in violation of lead testing rules. 5,300 cities. Generally, people are pretty confident that their water is good, or at least basically that their water is safe. But the truth of the matter is that cities are severely underfunded. The water systems and the pipes are gravely outdated, no matter what city or town you live in. And when you take into account the human element, the reality is that you could be in serious danger and you're not even being told. And I'm not here to say that people are hiding information from you. I mean, in Denmark, South Carolina, they thought they were doing the right thing. They weren't purposely trying to harm anyone. The point is that you need to take responsibility on this stuff. You can't afford to leave it to chance when you're talking about the life of your kids or your pets or your own personal health. You can't replace those things. Now, the USA Today had a special report called How Safe Is Your Water? And in this report, they said that each day millions of Americans turn on their taps and get water that exceeds the daily legal limits for dangerous contaminants. 100 years ago, before chlorine and pesticides and herbicides and the tens of thousands of other chemicals that we're exposed to every day, before they were even in existence, the average American had a 1 in 50 chance of getting cancer. Today, you have a 1 in 3 chance, and that number is now 1 in 2 for males, according to the National Resources Defense Council. The Ralph Nader Study Group, who have reviewed more than 10,000 public documents on water, report that any chemical used in our society today will end up in our drinking water. Now, there are over 2,100 pesticides that are believed to be cancer-causing that have been found in drinking water. Only 86 of the 75,000 toxic chemicals used in our society are even required to be tested for by the municipal water systems. There was a study done by the Environmental Working Group, and they documented their findings in a report called Weed Killers by the Glass, where they tested for pesticides in the regular municipal tap water of 29 major U.S. cities. Well, guess how many of those tests showed positive for having at least one pesticide found in them? Yeah, all of them. 29 out of 29 cities. But here's the really scary part. 2 or more pesticides were found in 27 of the 29 cities. And this is an important distinction because there was a test done by the Science Advisory Report to the EPA that said when 2 or more of these contaminants combine in our water, the potency may be increased by as much as 1,000 times. One city had 9 different pesticides found in one single glass of regular tap water right from the kitchen sink. Now, unfortunately, the report didn't specify which city this was. And what about chlorine? Chlorine, of course, is very commonly used to sanitize public water. And the EPA and the other regulatory commissions say the chlorine that people are drinking is in acceptable limits. But 2/3 of our harmful exposure to chlorine is not coming from drinking it, but rather from inhalation of steam and skin absorption while showering in chlorinated treated water. You see, what happens is warm water opens the pores and allows for accelerated absorption of chlorine. Inhalation can contain 50 times the level of chemicals that tap water contain because chlorine and other contaminants vaporize faster and at a lower temperature than water. Chlorine gas, or what is commonly referred to as chloroform, travels directly to your bloodstream. Drinking contaminated water at least allows for the toxins to be partially filtered out by your kidneys and by your digestive system. You see, what happens is when chlorine is added to water, it forms this chlorine byproduct called THMs. They are highly carcinogenic. Cancer scientists believe the THMs from chlorine are responsible for the majority of human cancers in the United States, according to the Environmental Defense Fund. Cancer risk is believed to be 93% higher for those that drink chlorinated water than those who don't. Simply stated, chlorine is a pesticide as defined by the US EPA, whose sole purpose is to kill living organisms. Now, buying bottled water or getting those big 5-gallon jugs of drinking water or using a Brita pitcher or even a high-end RO, reverse osmosis type drinking water system in your kitchen is not enough because they don't deal with the quality of the water that you're showering in. You absorb more chlorine into your system in a 15-minute shower than you would drinking 8 glasses of water directly from a public swimming pool. How's that for an appetizing thought? Now, of course, I could go on and on with piles of facts and figures about this, but I think you probably get the idea. So are you ready to do something about it? I mean, if I can show you something that will protect you and your family and your pets from all the dangers of chlorine and lead and pesticides and provide you with a solution that will give you incredible, pure, clean tasting water from every tap, is that something that you'd be excited about? And even if it cost $5,000, I think you can now agree that it would probably be worth it. But of course, I know a lot of people that, $5,000 is just a little bit out of reach realistically. Would you agree? So after I learned about the true dangers of water, which, by the way, seem to be getting worse every single year, I connected with a manufacturer that had been building some home water treatment systems. In fact, they'd been building them for over 30 years. We looked at all the available filtration systems on the market with one goal in mind, and that was to build the most effective and highest quality water treatment system for single-family homes. Now, this system isn't fancy. It doesn't tout some modern, newfangled secret formula that changes the molecular structure of water or any of those crazy things that you hear about all the time. This system was built simply to be the best at removing dangerous contaminants and offering the great tasting, clean, pure water that you deserve. And it's plumbed right into the main water line so that you can shower in it, wash your clothes in it, and drink it from every tap in your home. It is a dual filter system where the first filter is the coconut shell GAC granulated activated carbon filter. And this is the best top of the line filter for removing odors and bad taste from the water by removing the majority of the toxins and contaminants from your water. Then this single tank system has a built-in second filter of a powerful top-of-the-line KDF media, which basically cleans up everything that the GAC filter leaves behind, but it also removes heavy metals like lead and mercury, as well as things like bacteria and any biological contaminants. Your water will be safe and healthy and taste amazing. And I'm not going to kid you, the hard cost of this system is high. It's an expensive system. It's a high-end filter that includes a 10-year warranty. There is no maintenance required at all since the system has an advanced computerized filter head that regenerates, cleans, and keeps your carbon working at top capacity for up to 10 years. It's like having its own little built-in power wash system so that it uses its own regenerative water to clean itself. Studies show that the average person spends about $100 per year on bottled water alone. After seeing the recent CNN news story about Denmark and all the growing dangers of water in nearly every community across the country, I knew that I just couldn't stand back. I just couldn't sit and watch all this going on, especially knowing that our system can help people and save lives. I knew I had to do something. So here's what we're going to do. During the holiday season, I have instructed my team to sell our premier level GS water filtration whole house system at a price that anyone can afford. And that's why instead of selling this system for $49.95, which we normally do, we are offering this system as part of a Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday savings event at an 80% discount. Now, I am very confident in saying that this is simply the best Black Friday deal you will find anywhere, and certainly the most important thing that you can do for your family this holiday season. I want to make it so that right now you can get the complete filtration system for just $997. That comes out to less than $100 per year over the warranted 10-year life of the system. Although these systems are designed to last at least 25 years, which is most likely longer than you're even going to be in your home. Now, here's a couple things that you need to know. The system does need to be installed into your main water line. You are going to need to hire a licensed plumber, so expect $200 to $300 for this. But it's a very simple install, and we provide the blueprints and step-by-step instructions on exactly how to install this system. So any licensed plumber will easily be able to do this for you. And I'm going to tell you, you definitely do want to have a licensed plumber install the system, because otherwise it will void the warranty. This is not a do-it-yourself type of job. Otherwise, you run the risk of voiding the warranty, and if it's not properly installed, you could have big water damage to your home. Licensed plumbers have insurance and liability coverage and training, and you just don't want to take the risk on having this installed improperly. Also, bigger homes may require a larger system, so when you go through the checkout process, you're going to need to give us a little bit of information about the number of people in your home, the number of bathrooms, the square footage on your home, so that we can make sure that we properly size the system for your home and your proper water usage. You get this incredible dual filter whole home water filtration system shipped directly to your home, where now you can start enjoying the best tasting water. You can shower in it, feed it to your pets, water your plants, and drink from every tap in your home, knowing that your family is safe from dangerous contaminants, all for the lowest price ever offered at $997. At $997, 80% off the regular price, we're talking about a system that is about $8 a month true cost. We simply cannot afford to lose this kind of money on this system for long. So I can only offer this price through the holiday weekend, and that's why this offer will be gone at midnight on Cyber Monday. Do not pass up this amazing deal. Click on the link below to secure your new premier level GS Water whole home water filtration system. We back up the system with a 100% money back guarantee. So if you run into any problems, you can simply return the uninstalled system and get a full refund, no questions asked. Order your GS Water whole home water filtration system today at the lowest price ever of just $997, now through midnight Cyber Monday.